Good morning, this is Thomas from thomasyoungauthor.com. Today is August 12th, 2026, and it's 7:15 a.m. And today I want to talk to you a bit more about what we discussed yesterday. Yesterday I showed you a video of that podcaster with a funny name, Gray Young, who's a German who has this podcast, Gay Over, and he was interviewing a guy, Rob, from the channel InsideRob, where he posts reviews of sleazy gay bars and saunas, bathhouses. And that account got suspended, so they had to make a show. But if you've watched the video, you can tell by the code language they use, by the way they communicate, by the endlessly stupid things they say, that they are working together for someone. They act as if they did one interview before and they don't really know each other, although they know each other. And they work for the same people. They work for the organized crime network called the gay community now. Yes, and they got their InsideRob had his account reinstated by basically accusing YouTube, Google of homophobia, and they were successful in that. And I hope that YouTube and the people at Google will reconsider that. We'll take a look at that. Is that something you want to propagate? Because these videos are aimed at a gay audience, and its messages come to these sleazy places. They are all innocent. There's nothing going on here. Now you see, I myself used to frequent these places to have a sex life. I mean, many gay people, but I don't know. I mean, at the moment, I'm also like physically a bit incapacitated, so I cannot go there. I couldn't go there at the moment, but I don't think I will ever go back there because, first of all, I've noticed that the last times I was in such places, people noticed who I was, even when I entered, especially bathhouses in places I've never been before. That is a really strange experience. You come there and people stare at you and they know who you are. I mean, I'm a sort of semi-famous person in that organized crime network. I mean, my pictures, my videos, like they go around there. I mean, at first I couldn't believe it myself, but now I'm sure, and that's. I mean, now I can be pretty relaxed about that. But there were moments where this was leading to a lot of freakouts, and that was not so much fun. But I also found another short video of that guy Rob. And there you can also, I will link it in the notes, and there you can also see what these people are about. He is standing in a park in Berlin, being high on methamphetamine, and he is basically telling the people that he's on a lunch break and he's on a date. I mean, this guy's my age, and they behave like this. This is what these people are all about. But there's also another guy, and that guy, his name, I will also link his account, Patrick Morano, and he's an American, and he does exactly the same thing as Rob does. He makes reviews, and they probably also work. It's now an international crime work, the crime operation, the gay community, so they all know each other. There's a system of hierarchy, and this hierarchy in place. And here at the local level, people like Tom and Berto and the people that frequent their sex house are, have sort of a local, how do you say, a local, the local affiliates here in this area of the organized crime network called the gay community. And these people are dangerous. They murder people, they gang stalk people, they do the most horrific things. And this guy, Patrick Morano, does exactly the same thing. And they too, they did some collabs, as they call it. The OnlyFans model always do collabs, and basically these are two OnlyFans model with an independent account and then they have sex with each other and they call that collab, as in collaboration. So I know Patrick Morano and that Rob guy are also doing a collaboration. You can find those videos here, and they're working together to now present it. Because you see, the last times I didn't go that much to these places. I frequented these places when I was young, as a in my 20s. But later I went there only once in a while. And what I noticed about these places, first of all, most of these places were empty most of the time because people don't like going there. And the atmosphere in these places was also very grim. You know, I remember a time when you could go to these places and there was a sort of relaxed atmosphere and you didn't have to watch over your shoulder. But now, as soon as you enter such a space, a bathhouse, they will register you. There will be text sent with your picture, with your name, or with whatever. And they will notice you and they will register that you're there. These crime networks have also intelligence, if you know what I mean. And so I would not advise anyone anymore to go to such places. There was a time maybe perhaps where that was possible, but those times are over. And you know, well, you can say, well, why do you bother? This is just a niche world. No, this is not a niche world any longer. I mean, look at the Pride festivities in Amsterdam. They went on for 2 weeks now, not just one day. No, no, no. Or like the Pride week. No, no, 2 weeks now. And I mean, you could see it here on the official news pages. I mean, it was celebrated basically every day. And that is, you know, the problem I have with these things. And these people now think they can get away with everything. And there's also a Pride March coming up in the area I live in. And I invite people to think about long and hard finding ways to resist this, you know, without using language, without using words, without getting into discussion, because these things don't work anymore. You cannot win discussions of these people. One of the reasons is, of course, what I said in my first essay, homosexuals and gays, they constantly mix up. So when you talk to these people, they mix up sex and identity. So when you say, okay, sorry, I don't like these pride festivities, I don't want to see men dressed up as women, I find it offensive. Oh, you think that two men sleeping together is somehow disgusting. This is the kind of that doesn't work. But try and think about how you can resist these things and how you can make that clear to people that might consider going there to show their allegiance to the criminals, the queer people, or the people who identify as queer. Because when I see a lot of these pride walks, I mean, they remember me, in the 1920s and 30s, you had these stormtroopers, the brown shirts, and these kind of people. That's what these people remind me of. And the mindset, much of the gay community, is not that far removed from people like that. I mean, imagine yourself living a life centered around sex, drugs, and having fun. Because you see, in the news, they made a huge point about all these pride parades or pride events having record numbers, because a lot of people are drawn to the value of fun and sex and doing drugs. And I find that really disturbing, because imagine, people with those kind of values who think that life should be all about fun, and that, I mean, first of all, they live in a society that no longer exists. I mean, nobody cares anymore about who you sleep with or how many sex you have. Really, nobody cares. Even the people you would suspect that care don't care any longer. But still, they hang on to that idea that these people live somehow in a society where there are lots of people who want to prevent them from doing drugs, having sex, and having all that fun now. So then you have to ask yourself, What are these people about? Are they about fun? Because you see, I've been close to the Robs and the Patrick Moranos. They were instrumental and participants in the gang stalking, very direct participants. I mean, I was with them. They tried to scare me with their code language, with, they tried to intimidate me. These are what that guy I showed you the video of, that 2 hour video of that young gay guy who was gang stalked badly. He calls them props, props. No, that's what they are. And you can also see that in that short clip I show you of Rob. These are disgusting, drug addicted, evil people. And they have no problem, being complicit in murdering other people, because that is the dark side of a society that things, having fun, having sex, doing drugs is the highest value you can achieve. This is something one should live for, and all the other people, these serious people, they just want to spoil the fun. That is the dark side of it. That is a lot, violence and other stuff. So yeah, and yeah, think about what you can do, in order to resist these people and their morality. Okay, thank you for listening. Have a nice day. Bye bye.